morning and welcome to Discussion Board 2 today. I'm going to let you know beforehand that all my information is sourced in my written out part of this discussion board. So let's get started. What scientific evidence, if any, suggests that such prenatal learning is possible? So I did some research and I found an experiment on a pregnant woman in the last trimester has proven that prenatal learning is possible. In 1988, a team gave a pregnant woman a song, like a jingle, that had played the same word over and over in different variations of pitches and different vowel sounds. So the word was ta ta ta. By the time the baby was born, they had heard the made-up word 2,500 times. It says more than 2,500 times. And so they tested them after they were born, and the infant's brain recognized the word and its variations, while an infant in a controlled group did not. So a group that had not listened to the song. So then I also found this information that just because babies can learn while in utero does not mean that playing music or language recordings will help the child. Parterin says there is no solid evidence that stimulation beyond normal sounds of everyday life offers any long-term benefits to a healthy baby. Moon adds that playing sounds to a fetus while speakers close to the belly could easily be risky because this could overstimulate the fetal ear in rapid development of the brain. This can also interfere with the baby's sleep cycle, so this is also very damaging. So to answer the question, prenatal learning is possible, but overstimulation is very possible too with music and too much loud noises. So, to the second question, considering that they're identical twins, do you find it surprising? So saying that do I find it surprising that they're so different? Which no, I don't find it so surprising because personal experience, I knew of twins, and one of them had told me that the reason why they felt the need to be so different was because they were pushed to be so alike when they were little by their mother. I thought this was very interesting, and it made sense of what he had told me because, I mean, if you're pushed to be so alike when you were younger, you want to be completely different. It's understandable. But I also did find scientific evidence to back this up. So, not even identical twins who have the same genetic makeup have identical personalities. While they do have more behavioral characteristics in common than fraternal twins or non-twin siblings. They share just 50% of several personality traits. Child psychologist Dr. David Schaffer notes in his book, Social and Personal Development, fraternal twins share about 30% of the same traits, while non-twin siblings share about 20%. So this is saying that they share 50% of identical twins share 50% of the several personality traits, but they don't have identical personalities. I just said that. So that answered that question. So Alexandra's connection that shyness is inherited, so personalities are inherited. I found that around 40% of persons' personality traits stem from inherited genes. According to Dr. David Funder, psychologist professor at University of California, Riverside, and author of The Personality Puzzle, this leaves room for consideration influence from environmental factors. Environmental factors refer to the more than where a person lives, culture influence, and early life experiences, and an exposure to all impact personality. So this is saying that 40% of a person's personality traits stem from inherited genes, but the rest is up in the air for life experience, basically. So, third question, what does it mean when someone refers to nature versus nurture debate? So, instead of just saying nature versus nurture, going on about how that's a big long debate, I decided to break it down. So, nature refers to all the genes and inherited factors that influence who you are, and from our physical appearance to our personality characteristics. This is all inherited. if someone had an anger issue, that would be inherited. And then there's the nurture debate, refers to all environmental variables that impact who we are, including our early childhood experiences, how we've been raised, in our social relationships, in our surrounding cultures. So this is basically our environmental. If we've been raised in a bad home, that can change the way we've been raised. The nature versus nurture debate is one of the oldest issues in psychology. The debate centers on the just basically the related of genetic inheritance and environmental factors of the human development, saying which one will which. Maturation relates to this debate by the maturing as you get older. You kind of have to grow. You can nurture a child to grow up, but by the end of it, they have to mature up and make their own decisions. So question 4. Why is nature versus nurture issue so important? Nature versus nurture is so important because understanding the issues will have a huge impact on the way we teach, the way we parent, the way we take care of any child that's had issues before. We will understand it, then we can help whoever has grown up in anywhere. So what are the roots? So I found this pretty interesting because I actually found the root of where it started. The origin of nature versus nurture debate dates back for thousands of years and across many cultures. The Greek philosopher Galen theorized that personality traits were the result of a person's relative concentration of 4 body fluids: the humerus, namely blood, flagellum, and yellow bile, and black bile. I can't pronounce that word. But I guess that's where that origin from. But and then where do most people who study the phenomenon stand on the issue today? So today, most scientists who carefully examine the ever-expanding research base has come to appreciation that nature and nurture domains are hopelessly interwoven with one another. Genes have an influence on the environment we experience. At the same time, a person's environment and experience can directly change the level at which certain genes are expressed. So basically, that was just saying that, if you have an anger issue and something really bad happens to you, you're more likely to use that anger issue and express it. That answers that question. So number 5 lists 3 physical traits. Physical features would be hair, skin color, and physical size. So on my end, I am a blonde with green eyes. My hair I get from my mother. My skin color I get from my dad. And my physical size I get from my mom. So that's all inherited traits that I get from my parents. 3, intellectual, which I found this a little hard. Intellectual, I find, I thought it would be addiction, empathy, and confidence. I guess that's passed on. And then 3, emotional characteristics. So anger issues, depression, and the joyful attitude. I feel like that's all passed on. List some characteristics that are less influenced by genetics. So traits that are less, this is the one I found, was certain food types, like preference for certain. If you don't like a certain type of food, my mom likes cabbage, but I don't. So I think that that's a choice on your half. I guess style and clothes. But that's about it that I could find. I think most of our makeup is genetically passed on. What we like, what we dislike is our choice. So certain sports, but athleticism comes from a parent. My dad was very athletic, so I tend to be more athletic. But that's all I found on that. So thank you for listening.